A few weeks ago at the Atlassian Team 22 event, and they revealed Atlas, and it is the renaming of the Team Central that we've had for a while, that has been in development. And in this video I want to go over my thoughts on this product since it's brand new, and also give you some thoughts in general on how you can use this one and who is it actually for. So let's jump right into it and see what we can. So let's jump right into it and check out Atlas. So the first thing about Atlas is that it's not super easy to actually find. So in order for you to find it, you actually have to use the switch menu, and it is a separate product. It's completely separated from Jira, which is something we will talk about later, what I think about that. And once you enter it, you will actually jump right into an update screen. So you will have project updates, goal updates, and you will have questions that have come in. And Atlas is made up of four sections or products. So you have your projects, and that will list the projects that you are working with. You have goals and what they are. You have teams, and you have a help directory. So let's start by jumping right into the projects part. So projects will give you an overview of the different projects that you have, and you need to create them manually. There's no connection to Jira in any way. So in order to create a project, you can just click on create, and you will set a name for it, and you will choose an icon, and that's about it. And once you have created a project, you will have an About tab with fixed labels. And what are we doing, why are we doing, and what will success look like. So you cannot change this, at least now. And then you have the updates, which is basically the core feature of Atlas. And the updates will allow you then to change status, and you will also change end date. And these will be, you can choose to have it by day, by month, or by quarter, depending how granular you want to define your end date. You also have some, let me just switch over so I can be on the left side. So you can see, there we go. You will also have on the left side, you can set a project owner. You can see who is working on this, and you can add both teams, and you can add users. So you can actually put in a roster of people that are working on the project. You can add what goals and this particular project is working towards, why we have it. You can link in other projects if you have dependencies like integrations, or if it's part of a program. You can add general links, anything that you want. And you can add some tags. And that's about it. That's everything that you can actually do for the projects. Now if we move over to goals, you will find that this is pretty much the same. You will still have, I didn't say that on the project page, I can do that very quickly to show you. Moving a little bit too fast, and the list of projects you can of course filter. You can filter by tag, you can filter on status, team, owner, and contributor. You can also display this as a list by standard, and you can also have this display as a timeline, which is an extremely simplified view that is not very helpful, if I'm being honest. There are better views for timelines. And you also notice that they are, by default, they have a toned out, so they don't have a fixed date per se. It's part of the design, and it's very agile in that it doesn't really have an end date. And if you look at the keynote, they actually show this as becoming more and more clear the closer you get to the end. So you start with a very generic definition, maybe what quarter or what year. And then you will, as time progresses, you will come down to a month, and later on you will come down to a date. For me, this view is, sure, it's an overview, but it doesn't really do much more than what we already have in advanced roadmaps, for example. Now then, let's move over to goals. And goals, as you can see, it's the same design. You have the same filtering options, and you have a list of goals and their status. And they also have an about section, which only have a description at this time, and you have a list of what projects is tied to this goal. And you also can write updates, and they look exactly the same. You can actually set status, but goals don't have end date for some reason. I'm assuming that means that they can have an end then. Do we have any? Yeah, you can complete them, but you can't set a date for it. You can also you can set an owner for a goal, which is good. You can set parent and sub goals, and if I'm not mistaken, this isn't working at the moment but when this works, you can actually make a hierarchy for it. And you can also attach teams and tags, just like you could for projects. And for teams, it's actually I don't know how to describe it. It's weird because I don't really see the point of creating teams. And this view looks very strange. But you can create teams, and when you create them, they end up here on your teams. And the team view itself doesn't really do much. You have some activity to it. You can see who's there. You can see what type it is, and you can also add people to it. But that's about it. It doesn't really have much function beyond that. And if you click on a user, if you go to me, for example, you will see the same thing that you had before, what you've been working on. And you also will have this section, projects and goals, and that will actually show you what you're working on and what their statuses are. And you can also see the different areas that you are working on, the different places. And you can see who you're working with, the different teams and collaborators. The help directory is still being done, of course. And so you have questions where you can ask questions, and this works kind of like a very diet version of a support desk. We can ask a question that you can actually communicate with. So not really sure how this is supposed to work, if it's just for the team or if it's general for everyone. And you can also create help links, which are basically just a content block with a link in. Because if you add a link, you will see that you can have two types. You can have a request or you can have a knowledge articles. And you have to fill in the link. So it doesn't exist in Atlas at all, but you have to link it somewhere. And you have to have a title and a description. So it's basically just a content block with a link in it. A very fancy link. So that is all that you have in Atlas. And my thoughts on it is that Atlas seems to be more of an MVP and one that is very difficult to understand what it is supposed to do. And what I mean by that is it doesn't really have a lot of function, and everything is manual work at this point. So there's no help from any other product. It has no ties whatsoever to Jira. And the different sections that you have, projects, goals, and teams, for me they are strategic tools, tools that you use on a strategic level. You set strategic goals, you define what projects you want to have, and you also work with different teams so you can see who's working on what. These are strategic tools, and they are usually in a portfolio. The thing is, though, that you don't have any of the values that you usually associate with a portfolio. And by that I mean there are no estimates, for example, for projects. You have nothing related to finance, you have nothing related to planning. There's really nothing you can do here other than list in a very fancy Excel way. So it's very difficult to understand who will use this and for what purpose. And this is the same with goals. Unless I can connect the goals to items in Jira, they become kind of pointless. And also, if I don't have the actual value for it, I mean, if you have a goal, a strategic goal, and then you are supposed to have a value description. Well, why do we have this one? And sure, you can use that in the description. And you can also have the hierarchy so you can see who's contributing to it. But in this case, you can only connect it to full projects. And we know that in a project, you usually have multiple goals, and you have, every time you want to create value for a product or a service, you want to say what goals is this tied to and how am I increasing the value. And there's nothing like that here. I don't know if that's going to come later on, but for now, goals here is more what I would expect to have more in Confluence than in this tool. And when it comes to teams, the thing that is missing throughout Atlassian Product Suite is resource management. That is what I would like to see. I would like to see not only what teams am I connected to, but also how much of my time am I assigning to this team. Because one of the things that you use a portfolio for, and when you try to spin up new projects, is to see what is the situation like for my people. Are they available? Am I over allocating them? But we don't have anything like that. And the help directory, yes, it's a good thing to have a help service for everyone in your project or in your organization, but is this really where you want it, connected to projects and goals? I'm not sure this is the right place to have it. I would rather see that you have another product here, where you have product discovery, where you can throw in ideas. That would make more sense for me here, rather than having some form of generic help desk. So overall, I think Atlassian, the Atlas product, it's nice. I don't see who's going to use it, and I don't know what problems it's supposed to solve. It's basically just a status update service, and that is not tied to anything. It's a completely separate product. And for me, this is a problem, I think, because if you can't define where this is going to fit in your work processes and what goals, or rather what problems it's supposed to solve, I don't see anyone actually using this one. That might just be me, so if you have another opinion, please sign off in the comments and tell me your thoughts. But with that, that is my view of Atlassian's new Atlas tool, and that is available now. And I am skeptical to it. I'm not sure where it will fit, but I have hopes for it. I hope that it will become a more useful product, and I hope that they will, in the future, make it more clear what kind of product it is and who is it for. That's it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please share your thoughts. I would like to hear more about what you think of this product and where you think that it would fit. And until I'll hear from you again, until next time, have a great day.